friends, Miss Jill here today with The Teacher's Pet, another one of my favorites. This one is by Anica, Mrose, Rissi, and it's illustrated by Zachariah O'Hora. The Teacher's Pet. On the day the science project hatched, our whole class was amazed. We'd never seen Mr. Strichter so excited. "I always wanted a pet," he said. "You guys see that little science experiment?" Our tadpoles grew and grew. Soon it was time to release them into the wild, but Mr. Strichter said we could keep just one. We chose Bruno. You see Bruno? Yeah. Bruno had been the last frog to hatch, and he was the smallest. We brought in bugs and worms to feed him. Sniff, sniff. But he preferred eating our markers, and our scissors, and our books. "Look how he's growing," Mr. Strichter said. Our teacher was right. Bruno grew and grew, and grew and grew. Everyone could see that Bruno was trouble. Everyone except Mr. Strichter. Crunch, munch, look, he ate our whole desk and a chair. "He's very energetic," our teacher said, "just like a pet should be. Rah! See, he loves to play." Smash! Well, I'm sure he didn't mean to. Thump! Isn't he adorable? Look at the screaming. No! "But Mr. Strichter," we said, look how clever he is." Sniffle, sniffle, scritch. Achoo! Poor thing, he's allergic. Whomp! I love him. Something had to be done. We held a class meeting at recess, and everyone agreed Bruno had to go. He'd grown and grown into a bigger and bigger problem. We just couldn't keep him. But how would we convince Mr. Strichter? Uh-oh. We tried to tell him Bruno snores during silent reading. Zzz. He farts for show and tell. Look at the fart cloud. Ew. He hogs the swings. He eats our homework. But Mr. Strichter wouldn't listen. "You're overreacting," the teacher said. "Bruno wouldn't hurt a..." Gulp. Before Mr. Strichter could finish, Bruno had swallowed him whole. All that's left is a shoe. "Give him back," we demanded. "Give him back now." But Bruno wouldn't listen. We begged, we shouted, we made threats, we tried bribes. But Bruno's stubbornness grew and grew. We had to get him out of here. But how? "I know, the plant. The plant," we agreed. We held it under Bruno's nose. His sniffles grew and grew, and grew, and grew. Sniffle, sniffle, until finally... Achoo! Mr. Strichter flew out like a snot rocket. He shook Bruno's slime from his ears. "Good news! I found the missing homework." Burp. "It's time to release Bruno into the wild," we said. "He's not meant to live in our classroom." We'd never seen Mr. Strichter so sad. We walked Bruno to the frog pond and said goodbye. Mr. Strichter squeezed Bruno in a giant hug. "You were a wonderful pet," he said. "But I think you'll be happier out here, where you belong." Bruno blinked 4 times, unfurled his tongue, and gave our teacher's face a lick. And then he jumped into the pond with a splash. "Maybe he'll come back for a visit," we said. Mr. Strichter's smile grew and grew. The next day, our new science project hatched. Soon it was time to release the butterflies to the wild. Mr. Strichter said, well, maybe this one would make a good pet. But we had an even better idea. We helped him choose the perfect one. Aw, it's a little gerbil. Much better than a frog who was absolutely a hippo. Alrighty, so thanks everyone. See you next time.